When in August of 1945, Japan was suddenly defeated and then compelled to give up its colonies, there was no question among the Allied powers that Taiwan would be returned from Japan to China, now the Republic of China, which had been established upon the demise of the Qing in 1912. And if the inhabitants of Taiwan had any other wish, nobody asked them. Taiwan was thus returned to a nationalist Chinese government that had not existed in 1895. That government, the Republic of China, had just fought a war of national survival against the Japanese Empire for 8 years. When it took over the island, it did so with a healthy dose of skepticism about the loyalty of Taiwan's inhabitants. From the outset, therefore, the relationship between the Taiwanese, as it were, those already on the island, and Chinese nationalists was rocky. The Taiwanese had acquired an assortment of Japanese cultural and linguistic habits that made them seem to the nationalists like traitors. From the islanders' perspective, however, the nationalists, many of the most visible of whom were conscript soldiers from all parts of the mainland, seemed much more like occupiers than liberators. The nationalists, who were suspicious of Taiwanese political loyalty and eager to develop Taiwan as an engine of growth for the Chinese mainland, resorted to taxation, heavy taxation, and other strategies to extract resources. Japanese industries were nationalized. Mainland engineers displaced their Taiwan counterparts in running them. And in February and March of 1947, the nationalists responded to an island-wide series of protests with military action. Thousands of Taiwan's elite were executed. Martial law was declared, and it would stay in effect for 40 years. The brutality and subsequent cover-up of the events of 1947 meant that the story of Taiwan's first reunification with the mainland would cast a heavy shadow over any prospect of a second. More than anything else, 1947 would begin the creation of a distinctly Taiwanese as opposed to Chinese or Japanese identity.